Hello everyone, today I want to share with you the fun locking box idea. And this was inspired by UK demonstrator CreatedtheOttaway. Now I designed my box before I received her template, so my measurements are slightly different than hers, but it's still the same idea. Now I have created a template, and this is available for free download by clicking on the link above or below your video. Now let's start with the box, and I've got a 5 by 5 inch square piece of cardstock, and I'm scoring it at 4 inches on all 4 sides. So basically a 1 inch score on each side. And this is like the easiest box that you can make. And then what you do is you cut a slit on each corner like this, and then just using some tape or some Stampin' Seal. I like the tape as opposed to the glue. I find the glue tends to just move a little bit. You're just going to secure that up into a very simple box. This is a great little template to have anyway, just for your general crafting, how to make a simple box or a simple lid. Okay, there you go. And that ends up with a 3 by 3 inch box because you've got 1 inch off of each side. So let's set that aside. Now we'll make the wrapper for the box. And I've cut a piece that's 9.5 inches by 3.5. This one's actually 3 1/4 that I've got here, but you can do 3.5 or 3 1/4 or even 3. I'll show you some different options with my samples at the end. So I'm scoring that at 3, 4, 7, and 8. So I've got a 3 inch, 1 inch, 3 inch, 1 inch, and then about a 1.5 here. And then when I crease those all the same direction, then that creates, you know, the wrapper that goes around the box. The reason why I cut my piece just a little bit larger than the box is so it's nice and sturdy. But you could cut it exactly the same size as the box if you prefer. Now we just need to create that locking mechanism. And this is easier than you might think. So we just need to create some kind of a slit here on the top flap and the bottom flap. Now I'm choosing to use this die here from the Cracker and Treat Box dies. I've used these so much, not actually so much for the actual cracker die, although those are useful for occasions, but it's got all these great little labels in there, and then tags and hearts and stars. So I found this die set to be quite useful, and this happens to be the perfect size. You could also use a punch or something else that you have. It just needs to be fairly slim and, you know, at least a couple inches long here. Now I found from experimenting that if you have it over to the side, the box kind of opens a little on this side, so a little more towards the middle is preferable. And then I just used a piece of washi tape to put that in place. Now we can't obviously cut through both of these at the same time, so we're gonna have to just remove that and do this one first. Then you've got this for later use. And then go ahead and line that back up again. It might actually be helpful if you put the box inside, not adhere it, but just so you can line it up. And then you'll put this die back in line, but this time washi tape at the top, and then we're just going to cut that top slit. If you had a punch, you could probably just do it all in one go. Okay, then from there, now you can go ahead and glue in the box. Just make sure it's even right to left. And then this should fold around quite nicely and match up perfectly. To create the lock, then you need 2 shapes of some type. Doesn't have to be circles. And I found what I like to use best was actually these adhesive strips, because they're a little taller than dimensionals. And I found 3 of them was about right with this width of die like this. And you don't actually want it all the way to the top and bottom because that interferes with how far the lock can actually move. Okay, then you're just going to slip that in and then put this one over top. Okay, then once that's on there, then this just slides up and the box locks into place. It locks a little bit better when you've got embellishments and things on there. And then you slide it down and pull this out to open. There we go. So let me show you some finished ones. I did these in quite clashing colors so you could see the different parts easily. So let's bring back this one that I showed you in the beginning. So this one I've used the new Mediterranean Blooms papers and paired it with the Crafting With You bundle for a fun crafting effect. And this one, I actually adhered this piece together to the box. I just found that the box stayed closed just a little bit nicer, so you can decide how you want that to work. And then I made also a matching square card to go with it, because I think while boxes are cute, I do think that having a card to go with them just makes it even better. A little card with a small gift is perfect. And then I made a fishing version with the Gone Fishing bundle. And this time I've used squares just to show that it doesn't have to be circles. And this one unlocks. And then I've got the Designer Series paper down there in the bottom. Now this one I made the wrapper the exact size of the box. And the reason why I don't like that as much is because you can see this can tend to fall in potentially. So I like the wrapper to be just slightly larger than the box. So that's a nice little gift set too. And then my last sample uses the new Simply Zinnia, and this one is quite fun and bright. And I used Berry Burst, and actually the more dimensional this piece is, the more height there is on it, the easier it is to open and close as well. So there you go. I hope you have fun with that cute little template. And thank you again for CreatedtheOttaways for this fun locking box idea. Thanks so much for joining me. This is Jackie Williams. Please leave me a comment and of course subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.